Todd Miller.
Thank you. I'd like to take a leaf out of Bill English's book, actually, and spend just a moment reflecting on some of the opposition response to the Prime Minister's statement, and particularly to their discussion on the future of work. And one of the things that I'd like to draw out is how they particularly reinforce that the future is going to be a period of unprecedented change. We're going to have significant globalisation, technological connectivity and disruption, massive turmoil, in fact, Mr Speaker, a huge opportunity for both capital and labour, and talking about a huge flow free flow of ideas and talent and investment. And so with that as a basic premise, I find it extraordinary that the policy response of the Labor Party to that future is to contract out of the very trading bloc that has been established to maximise the opportunity for this country to be able to participate in this future. A trading bloc that hardwires innovative businesses to over 40% of world trade, 800 million consumers, a trading bloc that creates a framework to be able to deal with the issues of IP and services and investment into the future that other countries are lining up to join, a trading bloc that will exceed the expectations of the National Investment Analysis. And Mr Speaker, that's a future that this government wants to be a part of, and the opposition wants to withdraw from it. And I think it is very flawed thinking indeed. The other policy that they then put on the table, Mr Speaker, is one that increases the subsidies for those who want to retrain. Mr Speaker, I respectfully put forward that that is precisely the wrong question to be asking, because the real question here is, are we teaching the right vocational and tertiary courses to enable people to have the skills and resilience to be able to be successful in that future economy? In my view, this government has a fantastic track record in investment, particularly across vocational and tertiary areas, both in terms of their prioritisations of ICT graduates, STEM funding, the lifting of engineering students and the like, Mr Speaker. In fact, I believe, Mr Speaker, that when we talk about resilience and the capacity to deal with a changing world looking out 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it is as much about attitude as it is around technical competency. And in my opinion, a party that, as we do, talks to that future, is keen to embrace the world of tomorrow, the one that sees globalisation as a significant generational shift and an opportunity to connect us with world consumers is the way of the future, and is a party that has the right policy settings to be able to deal with that reality. Mr Speaker, in my view, that future is particularly exciting and challenging, and our success as a country will be measured on how connected we are to the world. It'll be measured on how direct the pathway is for our innovation to the consumers of tomorrow, and it will talk to how technically competent we are as a nation and how resilient we are as individuals and communities. And as I have reflected over the last couple of weeks and listened to the various responses to the Prime Minister's statement, I firmly believe that on this side of the House we have a framework that is focused on preparing New Zealand for that future. And what we have on the other side of the House is a party that is captured in their 1980s student president and political rhetoric. And Mr Speaker, I was with them at that time. I was in the NZUSA and Waikato Student Union with Grant Robertson. I heard his speeches. They are the same today as they were 25 years ago, and Bill English is right. They are caught in a policy response which is 25 years old. They do not understand how they talk about this future of globalisation. They talk about the forces which are changing the world rapidly, but their policy response is inadequate, it's weak, it's poor thinking, and it's the reason why they're 25 points behind in the polls, and it's the reason why the community of Bay of Plenty and Tauranga are so supportive of John Key, so supportive of this government, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.